Hi guys, welcome back to episode 8 of the GenZ podcast with me, Denika, Tamsin. So today I have a really special guest on. I'm so excited to have her on. Thanks. Shamila. But do you want to be called Shamila?
Yeah, you call me Sham anyway.
Yeah, Sham.
I'm Shamila, but yeah, call me Sham. You call me Sham, so calm.
Yeah, so let's just jump straight into it. I want to start off on a more serious note this week. As many of you may know, there's been a massive case with Sara Everard. She's a young lady who went missing and her body was found in a woodland. Now, I kind of want to have the conversation around, do you think, why do we have to always feel so scared walking in the dark? What can we do to change this?
I feel like it's scary because, you hear stories of women going missing and, people being told make sure you're safe on the street, or make sure that you don't walk alone or walk with listening to music so loud because, there's men out there that are predators and so on. So I feel like it's a hard thing to change, but it has to change. It's kind of how?
Because I feel like from children, it's literally in our head.
Drilled into our heads, yeah.
You have to stay safe. When you walk in the night, don't take no shortcuts. Always and I have so much anxiety knowing even where I used to work, walking to the train station, it used to be I used to get so scared.
You know what, to be fair, I hear what you're saying, because obviously but walking from train into the bus stop, that was calm, do you know what I mean? Because it was a main road, it was a dual carriageway. And then, get on the bus, get off in town. Obviously, where you'll get off in town, there's many people around. But it's still that little thought in your head, what if this happens? What if that happens? So, every time I would get off the bus, I would turn on my music. And then it wasn't until, I was in year 9 that I would start sitting downstairs a lot more than upstairs. I didn't think of it yet. I never used to think of it too tough like that. But then I was like, you know what? Why am I not sitting downstairs? Because there's been times when I've been upstairs on the bus, and then, some manners come up, and then I'm just thinking, I'm getting scared because I'm thinking he looks a bit
dodgy.
Yeah, dodgy, yeah.
And the thing with the buses, the reason why I always sit downstairs is because I don't catch the bus anymore, but when I did, I used to always sit downstairs because being alone on the bus and then one man walks upstairs, oh my gosh.
And being alone upstairs, for example.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean?
I'm sure you get this as well, but I don't actually have a resting bitch face. Everybody feels like they can approach me every time.
Okay. Sorry.
When I'm sitting down on the bus, or even when I'm walking somewhere, old men will come up to me "You're right, love." Everybody feels like they can talk to me. So of course, not these people aren't predators; they're just being nice.
Yeah,
but that fear that I get, is this a madman or a?
Yeah.
And then I and then I do this awkward laugh, and I don't mean to. And yeah, I could definitely see when I see things like Sara Everard, Christina Edkins, things like that, I could see. I'm in those positions all the time.
Yeah. I feel safe, obviously I drive now as well, so I feel safer in my car because I can literally just drive straight home or straight to dance or straight to my friend's house or whatever. But it's catching the bus, it's kind of you have that a little worry or fear inside of you of what's going to happen.
This is what I'm saying. And all of my friends, every time we go out or come back or whatever, they really make sure that I text them that I've got home safely. Especially one of them, if I don't text her that I've got home safely, she'll ring Denika, why did you not just text me that you got home? Because there's so much
I feel
worries.
that's just important in general anyway. But I feel it's looked at as more important when it's a woman, because obviously of the things that go on in society today. Because even my nan, let's say I'm going to dance, and then after dance I've went shopping, and I haven't told her that I've went shopping, because obviously she's expecting me to go home by a certain time, so she's worrying, and then she's thinking where I am, but I'm just shopping, but I haven't told her that, do you know what I mean? So
And do you just get worried?
Yeah, because I will call my nan. To be fair, recently I don't really call her too much. If I not call her too much, but if I'm staying at dance for longer, or if I'm at work for longer, or if I went shopping after work or a friend's after work and I haven't told her, then I'll either text her. But sometimes when I don't, I'll kind of worry to myself, like, oh, what will my nan think? Like, will she worry about me? And then, because she worries a lot.
It's that generation. Like, even my nan, like, she's very, like, cautious. Like, be careful whose house she goes to. Like, you need to really... Because she always thinks the worst. And to be fair, I'm not going to lie. I've always been completely oblivious until probably the last 6 months I've got into these murder documentaries.
Really?
And... it's really showing me that you can't trust nobody. And the reason why it's scary too is because there's no stereotypical look of what like a creep should look like. All men can be weird.
True.
Like all men
even
have
the
potential.
Nicest,
Exactly. Even
anyone
like,
can be really.
if R. Kelly can do what R. Kelly was doing, any man can do. Like any man can actively try to cause you harm.
That's true. I agree, because like me as a person, like personally, like I get paranoid over the smallest things. Like I remember one time in school, and I don't know if you were on the bus, but this was down my Falcon Lodge, and I remember getting on the 914 at the time, and then I went upstairs and I was sitting at the front, and then this man came up after, and then he was like, oh yeah, good girls sit at the front, don't they? The bad people sit at the back. And I was just thinking, hold up a second, why are you coming up to me on the bus? I mean, you're like, I think I was like 11 or 12 or 13, one of them ages. I was thinking, why are you coming up on the bus to the front? You can see that I'm a schoolgirl because I'm in my school uniform, and you're telling me something like that. Like, that's scary. And I just worried. So I went straight. He went to the back after. But after that, I just went straight downstairs, and I was just there like, what the hell? But... stuff like that. And then like I remember one time I was walking to training, and there was a car just parked by the side. And this is the thing with me, I get so scared if there's a car that's on, that has its lights on, or if I see one person in the car, or if I see men in the car, I'll worry. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like what's gonna happen? They're out for me. But then I'm thinking, why would someone just on the side of the road be out for me? Because it's just one of them. Was like the time when I was walking to training, this man, he had a phone in his hand, but I thought he had a gun because I'm that paranoid.
And then
I just started running, but the thing is, I started running because I just started worrying. I was thinking, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Like, but it's just those little things.
You have to have like the paranoia sort of makes you be a little bit more street aware, because like for example me, I would never go the shortcut, like so for example there was an alleyway like which used to take me to my workplace quicker, so like in the daytime walk through that alleyway all day, as soon as it touches about 7 o'clock you're not seeing me in the alleyway, like. And I always want there to be witnesses. And this is like crazy that I even think this. But I'm like, at least if I walk on the main road, if a man comes for me or something happens, there's witnesses. But like me, I don't bother nobody. I'm not in no beef. I'm absolutely normal. So why should I walk outside and feel like a man might be there to attack me?
I think it's just a subconscious thing that we've all gotten used to as women,
but
which
I just don't think it's
bad.
right.
Yeah, it's not.
Because like men, even though some may argue like black men might walk outside and fear another black man because do you know what I mean? There might be confrontation and stuff, but at least it's like there's equal kind of powers. I know, and I always like think about this. It sounds so bad, but if a man like beat me up, I'm gonna be taking beatings because I'm not gonna try and fight and lose. What? So like I know that like I'm a sort of person like, do you know like in movies where people like there's a bad guy coming in, they all start running. I'm the girl to sit on the floor and play dead because I don't want to go outside.
I thought you meant like if someone came up to you and like started boxing you down, you would take it.
I don't think I'll be actively trying to fight back because like I think I have this fight or flight like mode, and it's kind of like I freeze up and like
you don't know what to do.
I wouldn't know what to do, and like I'm not trained in no martial arts or anything. All I know is that like I'll probably try and bite somebody or something. But so
I think it's just it depends on the moment and what happens in the moment, isn't it?
I hope a day like that never comes. But do you have like a rape alarm and stuff?
I do. My cousin's dad gave it to me. I have it, but I should bring it with me, which is so
Carry
bad.
it on you,
but you know what the
please.
thing is, like, I did at one point actually, but it's because I drive now that I don't. But I need to put it in my bag and keep it in my bag. But I don't want it to just set off accidentally.
This is what I'm saying, because like I think, okay, let's just play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
If you hear a massive alarm go off, are you gonna be like, oh, I wonder what that alarm's about, and go look for it? Because I think there's a study.
Depends what type of alarm.
Like, there's a study, like, do you know, like, if there was a burning house and somebody heard screaming, a normal person wouldn't actually go to the house to save the person. They would actually try save themselves and run away. So when it comes to rape alarms and stuff, it's a great concept, but I always think, like, what is it actively meant to do? Because say if, like, I'm in the middle of a street and somebody hears a loud noise, maybe it may alert somebody, but I could definitely imagine some people will be like, I don't want to get involved. Because people wouldn't want, like, people don't want to be superheroes. You have those odd people who want to be superheroes, but then you have other people who don't.
I get where you're coming from. I think with rape alarms, like, obviously, just alarms in general, they all have different sounds, you know what I mean? So sometimes I've heard noises and they're like, okay, that's coming from a car, or okay, that's coming from a house, and like sometimes you've seen it, but I don't think I've heard like a rape alarm or something, but like I've heard people like outside my house, I've heard people screaming. I'm thinking, what the hell is that scream? Because I'm thinking to myself, what if someone's getting hurt?
And
but then I've looked outside.
Yeah,
that's like, sometimes I think of that, but then I look out my window and they're like, oh, it's just kids playing about, or it's just someone from the nursery, because obviously I live opposite a nursery. But it's like, sometimes that thought will go through my head, like, what if someone's getting raped? What if someone's getting stabbed? And because I overthink a lot as well, so I think to myself, oh my gosh, like, what if this is happening? What if that is happening? When in reality it's not. It's just what I'm thinking.
I think the best case for that is, like, it's another thing that I do. Say if I'm walking, like, in a dodgy area, I'll like dial the police. I know it's...
Really?
Yeah, I have it dialed ready in my phone, and if somebody tries it, I'll call the police, because then the police can locate you on it. Like, you can be like, oh, I'm in Aston, like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? But, like, I wouldn't want to, like, set off an alarm in hopes that somebody hears me, and then just aggravate my aggressor more. Like, I always think about stuff like this. Like, say, you always get taught from a child, like, if a man does something crazy, scream. Now, like, I know
you're gonna be smart about it, but it's just you don't know how to be smart about it, because you don't know how you're gonna act when something happens to you, or when you're put in a situation. Obviously, you can say what's gonna happen or what you would do, but you never know until the situation happens.
You never know. Like, and I could imagine, say if, like, that's the Sarah, if she did try to scream, or he would probably, he's a murderer, which is shown. Yeah. So, like, he probably would have hurt her further, her trying to alert somebody. So it's kind of like a catch-22. But, like, I've been seeing this meme. It's not a meme. I keep saying this, but I've been seeing this, like, saying, and it scribbles out educate. It says educate your son. No, it says protect your daughters, and then it scribbles it out, and it says educate your sons. What do you think about that? Because I've been seeing a lot of conflicting opinions on it.
I don't think there shouldn't be conflicting opinions on it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like educate your son, because women should be able to go out on the street and not fear for their lives, and fear like, I'm going to get kidnapped, or fear, you know, I'm going to get raped. Like, educate your son on what they should and shouldn't do kind of thing.
Arguably, and this is me speaking from a girl who watches a lot of Jim Don't Can't Swim. A lot of these people are just sickos. Like, they're just crazy. Like,
you know what I've seen as well, actually? Okay, sorry to interrupt you, but basically I've seen on Instagram about women being sexually assaulted, and then looking at the comments and men saying, must be nice it must be nice if you look good and get sexually assaulted, or something along the lines of that. And I'm thinking to myself, how sickening is it to say that? Like, it's just,
this
I
is
don't
what,
know how
like,
it goes
I
through
know
people's heads.
more than 2 people who have like bigger bottoms, like they've got big bottoms, and I can't talk on that, but I know more than a couple of, and they say like they actually try to cover it up, and because they hate the constant attention, like, just because they may think it's a compliment bothering you, it's not like, I absolutely hate, this is my biggest pet peeve, and I know every girl has went through it, when you walk in and the car slows down and tries like, and your first thing is like, I'm kind of like, what do we get from here? Like, so do you think I'm going to be like...
That has happened to me before. And
it's happened to me several times. Like, it's always in certain areas than others. But like, and it's like, what do you want the outcome to be? Maybe like...
It's scary, you know, because... I feel like that's where some men should take accountability, because it's wrong, because, you know, it's happened loads of times, you know what I mean? Like, and it's just not right, because you're putting fear into a woman, regardless of age, do you know what I mean? You're putting fear, thinking, making her think anything can happen to her at that point in time. Like, anything can happen to anyone in general, but it's like, be careful of what you're doing and the actions that you're doing, because when I like take you back, this was daylight when it happened to me twice. One time I was walking, this was in Hockley. I was walking, I was walking in daylight.
I'm joking.
No, it happens everywhere, but I was walking and it was some Jamaican man in his car. And there was loads of people around because there was an event, because this was by Bingley Hall. So I was walking down the road, and then this man was slowing down his car, shouting out at me, and I'm thinking to myself, hold up, what the hell? And like, he's just shouting out words and so on. He's there like, oh, jump in. I'm there like, what the hell? No. Yeah, I know. And I was like, no, thanks, I'm good. So obviously, I'm ignoring him whilst I'm walking. My man drives off, parks down by the road, by the junction, and then he gets out, acting like he's on the phone, and then I've walked by the steps, and is there, what did he say? He was there like, he told me to jump in or something, but he was saying stuff, and I was thinking to myself, you're creepy for one. I've already rejected you, and you've drove off, parked at the end of the road, come out your car to come and tell me again to jump in.
Yeah. I just don't get what they think the outcome's gonna be.
And obviously sometimes I walk down them steps in it, but that time I think I must have went round, you know, I don't know, you know, by the roundabout, by the flyover.
Oh yeah.
So obviously I didn't go down the steps, but I went round. But it was just,
it's just like, and I think the basic concept parents need to start teaching their sons is like, women aren't there to be controlled. Like, I was in Sideman All Day's live yesterday.
In what?
And do you know who Sideman is?
Yeah.
I was in his live, and the live actually made me want to really speak about it, because certain men really think that they are born to control women. Like, it's just like their birthright to control women. So like, when women like turn them down or they get like offended, and I'm just like, that's not. And like, there's a lot of things where I think from children, girls like are taught like 3-4 year olds are taught, oh, sit with your legs closed, like don't. But realistically, it's the man who should be in the right. You shouldn't have to teach you. It's a baby. Like, nobody should be looking at a baby in a way that sexualizes them. And like, another thing that I found really shocking is that 90, I think, I don't want to get the statistic wrong.
Oh, have experienced
90 plus women has experienced sexual harassment. Yeah. And it makes me so like scared to bring like a daughter into the world thinking.
But then when you think of it, if you ask any of your friends like, have you experienced sexual harassment? 9 times out of 10, it's because like something simple as, you know, being in the club and a man touching up your bottom, and I'm like
nobody said that was
some
okay.
people don't think that is sexual harassment.
Sorry, whilst we're on this topic, oh my gosh, do you know what? This was back when the clubs were open. Yeah. Do you know when a man needs to get past you? They don't need to touch your whole body to get past you. You could literally tap me and I'll be very much like alerted that I need to move. You don't need to actually caress me to walk past. And like, I think where the lines get blurred is there's this like playful tone in when women say no. Now, I don't want to underplay like this at all.
But no means no.
There is a playful tone where a lot of men see women's rejection as like a challenge. Like, and I would say easily, probably like 50-50, the woman's actually like, if you just tap a little bit harder, she'll open up. And then the other 50%, the woman's no. So like, I'm never on the man's defence, but on the man's defence, how are they meant to clock that?
I feel like take the words literally unless you're joking around. Like, even just in normal everyday conversations, like what someone says is what they've said, you know what I mean? So if they said they don't like you, for example, I'm going to take that literally. Yeah. Because you said you don't like me. Why am I going to take that as a joke, for example? So if you're asking for like, you know, sexual advancement or, I don't know, whatever the word is, but if you're asking for something and I've said no, why do you think I'm going to say yes?
Because they think that me saying this makes it seem like, but I'm playing devil's advocate. No, I know what you mean, they may think that your no can easily be turned into a yes.
But that's the thing. You shouldn't think like that. If someone said no, it's no.
Yeah.
If someone said yes, it's yes. I feel like a lot of them like to play this challenge like, like at first she didn't want to, but she gave in. But that shouldn't be the case.
But then you always hear these old stories where like people are like, I met my girlfriend at the beginning. She didn't want me, but then I persisted, and then look, we're now married with 5 kids. Like,
I feel like that it varies because sometimes it can literally just be a man ringing off your phone, or you know, just persistently trying to get at you, but it's not exactly sexually. It's just trying to get to know you, and then the woman eventually giving in.
Also, do you think that there's a difference between like a man trying to get to know you sexually and a man trying to get to know you for you? So that's where it, like, the different lines.
Yeah, because you see how you're saying like it's being persistent and then the woman eventually giving in. Yeah, I feel like if it's sexually, then obviously that's not. It's not exactly like she wanted it kind of thing. But then some people say, she's playing hard to get. But like, so it's arguable, do you know what I mean?
I just think I actually view some men as quite sick as well, because like I see a lot of them think just because like it may be their girlfriend or like their somebody who they feel like may owe sex to them or something, they're very much like, oh well, it's my girlfriend, so I can't rape my girlfriend, or it's my wife, I can't rape my... Well, but no, you can, like, because if somebody's body is theirs, and like that's why I feel like there should actually be no form of conversation when it comes to like sexual assault or anything, because somebody's body is theirs. Nobody has no right to like take that away. And I do a lot of reading in it, so like when I read like these cases of where women have been raped, or not even as far as rape, just sexually assaulted, it actually disgusts me. Like, these girls can't live life because then they actually don't believe their body belongs to them no more. Like, do you see how deep that is? Like,
yeah, and it's sad because it shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't, and it's the whole culture around it. Like, I see a lot of people try to downplay it, and I'm definitely gonna just be open and honest. Yeah. Do you know? Have you ever seen the show? The girl from Chewing Gum's in it.
I can't lie, I don't watch TV.
Either you will know. Have you know the show I'm talking about? Yeah, the show I May Destroy You.
No, I haven't.
So like basically it just talks around the whole topic around like rape culture. And when I first seen it, I said it might be a bit dangerous to be... No, don't worry. I said it might be a bit dangerous putting that out there, because any woman that might have went through any sort of thing now can label a man a rapist, or like... Okay. And I think it's very dangerous to be able to... Like, I'm not going to lie, so I used to think like, oh, a man... Like, if you both drunk and then you decide to do whatever, and then the next day the girl decides to say
I feel that's wrong. If you're both drunk, see, even that is a topic that's kind of...
This is what I'm saying, like...
controversial, because some people can say... It depends how it happened. Let's say at one point during it she said no. But I think... But then at the same time, if you're both drunk, then you're both not in the...
headspace
to even make a proper decision on like.
I think a man, even though he may lie and be like, no, I didn't realise that, they will know that they've raped a woman. As much as they'll be like, oh, like, I didn't know it was considered rape. Like, they know that a woman didn't want it and they felt the need to, like, push it on them. Are you talking
just in general?
In general, I feel like all rapists.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were talking when drunk. I was thinking,
oh, no. I'm talking in general. Like, every man who's been accused of rape, in his head, he knows if he done it, or if he did not do it. That I don't feel like there's no blurred lines, because there's very clear, and even like, let's not, but and there's like lots of clear like signs that's shown that the woman didn't want to be involved. And like, I feel like it all from like the entitlement of a lot of men. Like, men are raised thinking that they own women, and I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, I've never understood that either. I feel like some do feel entitled to a woman's body, and especially like in marriages, you've heard of people saying like, oh yeah, once we're married, like I can have sex whenever I want, like
no,
and you can just get it whenever you want from your woman, whether she wants it or not. And that's disgusting to think that, like, obviously you can still say no, because obviously everyone, like, for example, you have, is it
postnatal depression?
Women go through that after giving birth, isn't it? So you know, sometimes she'll go through different types of moods and hormones and all sorts. She's probably not going to want to have sex. So some women, their sex drives increase after giving birth. So it all varies. So when it comes to having sex with the man, sometimes, you know, he'll be like, some people, they don't even take into account that those things happen, and that some women do go through postnatal depression. So then from there, they'll just think, I don't know why she doesn't want to have sex, kind of thing. But it's just, that's one of the reasons why. But they'll still feel entitled just because they're married.
I think the main thing that's wrong with it is just taking somebody's choice away from them. I feel like everybody, even children, deserve a choice. Like, and when it comes to, I feel like it's such a serious topic, so I want to be careful how like I phrase stuff. But like, soon as you do that, I feel like you're the scum of the earth, and you need to be dealt with accordingly, because like there's a lot of men out here as well who's been accused of rape and they're not guilty. They haven't, and then you have men out there who it's literally so ingrained in their head that it's normal to take advantage of a woman. They think it's their right. And do you know what? It all starts from how men objectify women in the first place. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and some of them, the way they talk about women, you think they're comparing 2 pieces of chicken from KFC.
But
like,
they're not.
They're like, one's juice. Like, they're literally talking about a woman like she's an object. And I feel like that's where, I'm not saying that these people are like abusers, I'm not saying that at all,
but it's
like the whole culture, the whole culture of it leads men who eventually will rape women, like to, that's where they believe that that's okay, because they don't view women as people. Some men really believe that all women do is walk around, give birth to their children,
and are just meant for sex.
That's all they're used for, and then they're the ones who's meant to live this life. But that's what I love about 2021 is, wow, the whole like this new generation of women, that women can be great. Women are great people. Women are as equal as men. And like, when it comes to marriages, I hear all the time like a man should be the head and the woman should be a neck. No, whoever's fit to be the head, be the head. Whoever's fit to be the neck, because not every man's an alpha male. Like, that's another thing. Some men can't lead. Some men only can lead you to the chip shop. Like, they can't. Like, they can't lead. So like, and this is where like, I feel like it's okay for some women to be like the head of the house. Some men, it's all down to the individual person.
I think it's like, it's just something that shouldn't be forced. But because obviously, like, you have traditions where people think, oh yeah, the man should go out and work, provide for the household, should be, what's it called, the breadwinner, and then the women should be, you know, the primary care of the children, cook and clean. And obviously that is something that did go on for years before we were even born, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's all different, and sometimes it's the woman that's the breadwinner that's the breadwinner. So even when you're talking about males being alpha or beta, is it beta or beta?
Yeah. I don't know.
Beta. Beta males. Yes, obviously you have different kinds of, like, some of the males don't even want to be the breadwinner.
Yeah,
so it's
some
like
males.
it's kind of, and some women want to go out and work. So it's just a change of
dynamic.
And gender roles as well. Like, you know, some people want to force it, some people don't. I feel like if it comes naturally and it falls naturally, then let it just flow naturally. Don't force things.
But like, this is, men are born automatically thinking that that's just their birthright. Okay. Their birthright is to grow up, find a woman and lead the family. Now, I think that's absolutely fine. Yeah. Like, you have women who are naturally just submissive women, but then you have women who are just natural, like, do you know what I mean? Just like, the go-getters. Yeah. I could see them being the head of the family. Now, that dynamic doesn't mean the man's any lesser. Just like how...
exactly that. Yeah,
just
exactly
like how if a man... Like, if a man leads a family, it doesn't mean the woman's any lesser. It doesn't. So the opposite way round doesn't mean it neither. So when we fight for equal rights and stuff,
it's not.
That's what it should be. Like, it shouldn't. And that's why the whole topic around rape culture, it's because men literally believe that they should just own women. Like, not own, but control. That's the best way to say it.
I feel like a lot of men can be like that. In today's society, so I definitely agree.
And like, I don't even want to talk about my whole theory on broke shaming or whatever, but like, that's why when men complain about women who are broke shaming them, or men all the time, I only ever hear, I need a girl who's got this amount of curves, she must be able to cook, my gosh, she has to be great with kids, she has to be able to clean, oh my gosh, if she ain't got a great relationship with her mom, she's this, like, this woman must be this, like, everything. But then a girl talks about a man simply must have his finances straight, and it's just like, oh, you're a gold digger, you're this, you're only looking at men for money.
I see where you're coming from, because obviously with the men that think, you know, that there should be the breadwinner, there's some women that think that there should be the submissive wife and, you know, the primary care of the children. So obviously if they want a man to be the provider, then they're going to say, you're going to need to have your money up, you can't be broke, which you can understand. And you can understand the man's point of view as well, because some men do want to be the breadwinner, and there's nothing wrong with that. Do you know what I mean? It's just what they want to do and how they want to keep gender roles within their family. Do you know what I mean? But I get where you're coming from, where men will say, she was a, you know, gold digger.
If you scroll down Instagram, everybody take a break from the video, scroll down Instagram, at least one post is going to be talking about how a girl must, if a girl can do this, if a girl can't do this, a girl must, like, even down to like wigs and stuff. I see men, we'll talk about that later, but I see men shaming women about wearing wigs. Like, the whole narrative is always a man shaming a woman. As soon as women stand up and say one thing, it's just like, oh my gosh, you broke shaming us. Not even, we're in a pandemic, a lot of people are going through well, no, because we're in a pandemic, not everybody can go to the gym.
It's true.
Have you thought about that?
It's true.
It's like my biggest pet peeve. Like, men are just so entitled, and like, men aren't a monolith, so I definitely don't want to like paint the brush over all men, because not all men are like that. But there's a large majority of men that I encountered, I'm sure you encounter too, that I just had this like arrogance simply because the males, you haven't earned no form of right to feel like you're superior to me.
But it's, as I said, like, that's what the society that we've grown up in, which is a shame, and it is changing. Do you know what I mean? It is changing slowly, because when you hear of stories that used to happen, you know, 50 years ago, it's like, that's when our grandparents, like, were probably our age or so on, where they were going through harder times. You know what I mean? And it's just, and a lot of sexism. So it's crazy.
And the thing is, in our grandparents' age, like day, like, it kind of had to be the man had to lead because society had only accepted the man. So like there was a large there was a time where women couldn't vote. Like literally only the other day women have been given the rights in Saudi Arabia to drive. Like that literally the last 5 years, that's when women has been given the rights to drive. So like the whole of the world. Are they a
Muslim country?
Yeah.
Yeah. With Islam, they do have a lot of it's based a lot on gender. Okay, I shouldn't say based a lot of gender, but they have a lot to do with gender within Islam.
I don't know.
I'm not going to talk too much. Obviously, I don't know
everything. I don't know about Islam, but like
I have heard a few things and so on.
It's just the fact that there's a whole world out there that has only just started to adjust to women. Like,
but remember, that's not a part of the Western world.
True, but the Western world, only in the 60s, women have been afforded certain rights. Like, I don't know too much.
If they're further behind,
I hear that.
Like, women in the Western world probably have more rights than those who aren't in the Western world.
But I'm saying, like, back in the day, that's why the men had to head the family, because men physically were the only ones who were allowed to go out there and be the breadwomen, like winners. Women are actually overachieving, especially black women. Like, we're overachieving, like in workplaces. Yeah. You're seeing a lot of black women bosses. You're seeing a lot of so now a man can't come into a relationship and just think, oh, I have to be the head of this relationship simply because I'm a man. Because the world is now slowly allowing women to.
So he'll feel like he's got nothing to offer, kind of thing, or like nothing to provide. Okay, I see where you're coming from with that, but I feel like that's more of a thing where it's seen as competition where it shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? Because you still have things to offer apart from just being the breadwinner or just being the primary carer or just cleaning or just cooking. Like, you can reverse the roles a bit. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Because you are seeing a lot more men are coming out and cooking. Like, I give credit where credit's due. Like, men are a lot more, like, if you look at just our generation of men, they ain't just like, oh, a woman has to sit and wait on me. Like, they're very like, they adjust to stuff. They look after the kids. They may take.
That's true.
So like, I think we are taking.
I think it's more like our grandparents is there where it's proper gender role based.
Because like, even like my mum even tries to, like, you have to always serve men first with food, like stuff like that. Like,
and to be fair, I have heard that. Yeah,
like, out of everybody, my dad will always get his dinner first, which I hear that. I hear that. But low-key, I'll be thinking, I've been here all day, you know, watching you put over this part. My dad hasn't even been at home and he comes here.
See, that's where other people think, you ain't even been at home or helped out and you want to have your food first. But he could also see it as, I've been working to provide for the household. I deserve to get my food first, you know what I mean? So it's seen it from different perspectives.
It's true. Because I don't completely bash gender roles, but I just don't 100% agree with it.
Yeah, see, like, I totally understand where you're coming from, because me personally, when I think of it, like, when I think of it and I'm like, you know what, it's actually alright, like, but it's just, don't force it. Do you know what I mean? Don't force me into a little box where, you know, I have to stay at home, I have to look after the kids 24/7, I have to cook, I have to clean. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to
one could never.
I know. Like, I want to go out and work. Like, don't just put me in a small box. Like, do you know what I mean? We can both be the breadwinner, kind of thing. Okay, not both be the breadwinner, but like, I don't want to just stay at home.
I hear
kind of
that.
thing. I want to go out and work, for example. I don't mind cooking and cleaning, but then I don't want to also overwork myself. So it's kind of like coming to an agreement and negotiating with each other on what can be done. And obviously it just depends on what job you do, how many kids you have, you know, and all sorts. Because it's like, nothing's wrong providing for your partner, and nothing's wrong, like, sometimes women feel away and like, like, I've cooked for my man.
But this sort of like looks at it a bit objectively. If you think about what women, the general woman, I can speak for myself. Mm-hmm. So what, like, I would find attractive in a man is these typical alpha things, like somebody who walks into a room who's respected, somebody who knows how to speak. Like, so like the way that men view themselves is what women ask for a man from a man. So like, even though I sit down and try and argue like, yeah, a man should be okay to like just be follow a woman. Truthfully, would I want a man who's just second in command to me?
So do you mean if the roles were reversed, basically?
Yeah, truthfully, like, not saying that I'm submissive. Some people don't, but like, even like men, everything that they find attractive in women, being able to cook, even like, you know, women with wide hips, men look at that because they look like child bearers. It looks like she can carry children. Like, everything that today's man looks at a woman and views as attractive, he sees typical submissive roles. So like, and I hear it countlessly.
That's true, you know.
Like, so it's so ingrained in us that we think it's normal that that's what women should be. Yeah,
I hear where you're coming from.
Because you wouldn't find a better male.
Beta.
Yeah, you wouldn't find a beta male realistically. Oh, well, I can't talk for you, but I know that I wouldn't actively look for a beta male.
Yeah. I think me personally, I wouldn't mind as long as we get on, and I don't know, like, we can negotiate things, or like, you know, it just depends on how your relationship goes. Do you know what I mean?
But would you prefer to, would you be okay with earning, like, a lot more than your man? So say if your man, like, in general, but we're young, innit, so let's keep it quite small. Say if your man earns 25k and you're on 15k, you like that, like, women would enjoy that dynamic. But flip it, you're on 25
feel small
and you're on 15, like, that would cause a few arguments.
Me personally, I wouldn't really mind, because I don't know, we're both living in the same house. Let's say we're together, living in the same house, we split the bills, have a shared account, because I would personally want a shared account. So obviously anything that's needed for the house or the kids, just because of that account kind of thing, do you know what I mean? Split everything and then it's cool. But then some people would argue that if someone makes more money than the other, then they should put more into everything. But that's all about living within your means.
Exactly, yeah. Because like, I feel like you have to live in the average. So say if our annual house income is 50k, for like just argument's sake, we should be living in the bracket of like a 25k person. Yeah, like, we shouldn't be trying to live towards somebody who's earning like, even if the man's earning way more, like, no, live in between your total house comes, like, me,
until you start making more money. I feel that I think that only makes sense, because if you're living above your means, anything can happen, and then what do you have to fall back on?
But I don't want to go back into like,
okay, so do you believe in gender roles and so on?
Because I think it's ingrained in me. So as much as I like to argue against it,
you still don't mind it.
I still wouldn't mind following a man. Like, I'm honest. Like, I won't lie to you. I wouldn't mind following a man, but I still want the option to be there. That if one day I want to, like, do you know what I mean? Back. Like, take a charge on my family, or like, I might find a man whom I may be very much in love with, but I don't actually want to, like, let him take lead on the like, he's okay. I want him to be okay with me being like, let me take lead. It all depends on the circumstance. That's why, like, I find this conversation tricky, because there's too much, like, different situations that could happen. But yeah, let's not dwell on this any longer. Okay, cool. I want to talk about natural hair, because if you didn't know, Shmila's a natural hair maniac. Yes. Yeah. What made you fall in love with, like, natural hair? Do you remember the day, moment?
I remember the year. I just remember, I should tell you, like, okay, so when I started secondary school, I said to myself, I don't want to wear extensions in my hair, or I don't want to have, like, my hair braided and so on. I want to have my natural hair out. But then I didn't know how to do my natural hair at that time, going into secondary school, year 7. So I texturized it straight. Obviously, used to straighten it, you know, every time after washing my hair. And then after that, I was thinking, hold on, but this isn't my natural hair. And then I thought, you know what, let me just get braids for a while. So I went back to having extensions in year 8 and year 9 and that. And it wasn't until year 10, I sat myself down and I was just thinking to myself, hold up, why don't black girls' hair grow? But then I thought to myself, that's a myth. I literally said that to myself. I said, why don't black girls' hair grow? But then I said, that's a myth because I have family, their hair has grown, and I've seen people whose hair has grown. I was thinking, it's just a myth. So then that's when I just went on to like Google and YouTube and Instagram, and then I was like, wow, all these black women have long hair. And I was thinking, what? Like, so black people hair can grow? Because it's something that's just like...
You think like...
Yeah, you just think, oh, your hair don't grow. And obviously, you have a lot of people saying, oh, make sure you don't get your hair wet because it will shrink. Get your hair wet, because if you don't get your hair wet, your hair's going to dry up and then it will break. Do you know what I mean? Like, water is the number one moisturizer for your natural hair. Yeah. So I don't mind getting my hair wet because it needs to get wet for moisture. Do you know what I mean? So, but that's the thing. With that comes confidence for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, it's you. It's your natural hair. Do you know what I mean? But let me get back to how I started it. So cool. I questioned myself and I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to start wearing my natural hair. So then, obviously, I was watching YouTube videos. I was learning more about hair, and then there's so many things that we miss out on taking care of our hair. So for example, I never knew that deep conditioning was like a crucial part of your hair like routine. Like obviously sometimes it is down to genes and genetics. That's the same thing. Sometimes it is down to genetics, but what can help is the way how you take care of your hair. I never trim my hair. So like I would only trim my hair probably like once a year, or probably
I literally got my first trim like 6 months ago. See,
this is the thing, like trimming your hair is so important. People think, oh, don't trim your hair, you want it to grow, but trim it, because split ends will, like, you'll get split ends regardless, like whether you use heat or not. It's just the fact that if you don't use heat, you won't get split ends as much, kind of thing. It's just using heat kind of increases the chance of getting split ends, kind of thing. So when it comes to obviously doing your own hair and so on, it's a thing where you just have to embrace it and, you know how to take care of it. As I said, like deep conditioning, that helps to strengthen your hair and so on, and bringing moisture to your hair. You have detangling. I never knew what detangling was. All that is combing your hair from ends to root. As a child, I was combing my hair, not even me, but my parents, they were combing my hair from root to end. But when you think of it, does that make sense? It's common sense. Comb from root to end. No, comb from ends to root. Because if you think of it, if you're coming from your root, you're dragging out your hair. And obviously, as a black person, you have afro hair. Do you know what I mean? So it's curls. If you cut...
I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably the worst person to talk to about natural hair, because I never wear my hair in like a completely natural state. Like my hair, I'm very natural, like my hair's not permed or anything, but when my hair's very much always, if you see my hair out, it's always just gelled black. I never embrace like the look. And that's one thing that, do you know what, I am looking to do more, like try one day wear my hair in an afro, try one day but I know that my hair, the minute I walk out the door to the minute I walk in, it's not going to look the same. It's going to look like two different hairstyles.
See, I can understand where you're coming from.
I just can't.
With saying that, because obviously I wear my natural hair out, so I get where you're coming from, and I can't really say anything about that because...
It's true.
It is, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's down to the weather. Like, you know, your hair can be stretched out in an afro, or it can be blow dried. And let's say it rains, your hair's going to shrink. And obviously shrinkage is mad, especially for people with really kinky hair. Like, your hair can be flipping this long, and then as soon as water touches it, it's this long, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, my hair's ruined for the day. Do you know what I mean? Which can ruin a hairstyle sometimes.
Like my buns, for example, I wear my hair in a bun all the time. Sometimes my bun is absolutely huge, like it's just nice and full. Other times it's a struggle bun, and I'm like, hold on, what went so wrong here? But like, I don't think I want to be completely honest all the time. Like, I don't think I'm 100% there with loving my natural hair, because I know that I can't just wear it. But I know that it's like, even the word picky and stuff, I've got just so like much negative things. And having picky hair, Picky hair is not a thing, but having like nappy hair isn't a negative thing.
Yeah, it's just
but
people
in my
view
head,
it as that way.
I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if my hair looks picky at the end of the day? What if I have pepper grains? We all have pepper grains, yeah, it's fine. But I think it is like a journey that people have to go through to love it.
It is, but I feel like there hasn't really been a time where I've hated my hair. It's just where I've been like, oh, this is so long. I can't be arsed. Like, when I was younger, I used to get it texturized. So I didn't really have a say in doing my hair.
Do you know what, though? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But then, obviously, as I got older, I don't do that. It's just like, I've just fallen in love with the process and learning more about how to take care of it that I've been...
With the actual hair.
Yeah, that I've been, like, so determined to be like, yeah, so I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to make sure my hair is moisturised and so on. I remember one time, I even thought to myself, like, I still did love my natural hair, but I always wanted to go out in an afro, but I just thought, what would it look like? Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. When I done a dance competition, like back in flipping 2011 or 2012, I had an afro out, but that's the only time I've had my afro out, and that wasn't even my kinky afro. That was a blowout afro. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So it was kind of, flowy and so on. But when it came to me going out in just my natural state, I was thinking, oh my gosh, like, would it even suit me? But then I said, listen.
How can your natural state that suit?
Exactly. Yeah. I said, that is exactly what I said to myself. I said, I was worrying about if an afro would suit me, but then I said to myself, how does that make sense? Because this is how I was born, so how can it not suit me? I was born to have my hair out. I was born to have my natural hair like this. So I just said, you know what? Let me just have my hair out, and I loved it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that's the thing. If you don't know how a style is going to turn out, still go for it, because whether you like it or not, at least you've went for it. Do you know what I mean?
I never style my
but not even
hair.
I'm just any style. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, when it comes to natural hair, sometimes you won't like certain styles. Like, for example, I don't like having my hair. I don't like top knot buns at all. You'll never see me in a top knot bun at all.
I love a top knot.
I hate them. I just feel like my head just looks big and all sorts. But
I love a top knot bun and a centre part.
See, like, I don't mind like a pony at the back, or I love buns at the back. Like, I love buns. Do you know what I mean? But a top knot pony, top knot pony, just a top knot bun, I don't like. But I think it's just because of how it looks on my face. But when it comes to like natural hair and afros, like, I love that. Do you know what I mean? It's just I can't wear it out a lot because I work with food in it, which is so annoying. But this was when I was in college. I just went out in my natural hair and I got loads of compliments. Everyone was like, oh my gosh, Sham, I love your hair. I was thinking, oh my gosh, really? You know what I mean? But it's just kind of like, don't even care what other people think, because once people see that you love yourself, it's kind of like...
I think that a lot. Like, I think if you wear, you always have to wear your hair. Don't let your hair wear you, because people can see that you don't love your hair. Like, when I have a bad hair day, it's very evident, because I'm like always trying to fix my hair. Like, and then it makes it more obvious that my hair don't look good. But if I wear my hair absolutely confidently and like nobody can tell me nothing. But I think from a child, so when I was younger, I used to do ballet. And I used to do it at this white dance school. And when you used to do performances or like assessments, they used to always put your hair back into like neat little buns and like put bows on it. So all the little white girls had like two little like neat buns. And obviously my hair needs to look as neat as the girls. Like using like hairspray that they'll use on theirs would never work for me. So like if you look back on all the old dance videos, all the white girls look super smart, look super cute. Then me, like, because they didn't know how to do my hair.
Oh, so they would do your hair?
Yeah, so my mum would drop me off there like at 12, and they would have me all to, I'd have rehearsals, get ready for the thing, do you know what I mean, and then do it. And then my hair, like if you look back on all the pictures, my hair always looked rough. And it wasn't because like my hair was rough, it was because nobody knew how to do it. So then like slowly, like I started to think my hair's always the longest. Like when I say long, I don't mean length as well, I mean like always the longest to do. And then like I remember at school, I remember when, like, people used to say my hair was picky and stuff, and then I used to be like what, this is how it's grown from my head. Like, so I remember when I got my perm, like, and Kyra's there behind, it was an impulse decision. I remember in the morning I went to school with my natural hair just in like a bun, and like I heard somebody say, "Oh, her hair's picky." Like, it was more than like 2 people said it. And I said, "Kyra, I need to perm my hair." So that day I went to Erdington High Street, I bought a perm, and then like right from like year 9 right up until like prom, I just kept on perming my hair because I could not even take my hair in the natural state. New growth, perm it straight away. Like, it was like I never wanted to see my natural hair because I just used to think it was so like ugly. Now though, I think the way you get me is the way you have to take me. So it's not that I don't love my natural hair now, but it's just like now, like,
if you don't like it, then
like I wear it, and like I know that I always attempt to look neat. Like, I always will look neat, regardless if my hair's in an afro, regardless whether my hair's like, when I walk out my house, I'm aiming to look neat. So nobody could, just because it's not your preference or just because in somebody else's opinion that it's picky, doesn't mean that I'm not gonna wear it like this no more. But like all throughout my life I was told like my natural hair, how it's grown from the roots, isn't nice. It's not the lick. Like, it is that kind of like just straight like. And do you know when people say, "Oh, we love natural girls," are they really talking about how I wake up in the morning, how like my hair looks when it's fresh out of braids?
When people say that, because it's like, are you talking natural as in, you know, loose 3A curls and long hair, or are you talking natural in every single state? Do you know what I mean? Even edges, like, I don't do my edges because, one, I can't really do them like that anyway. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not into edges like that. I just can't be arsed.
With edges, on a regular day I won't do edges, but like when I've got makeup on and stuff, I feel like it underwhelms my hair look if I don't try and do edges. But truthfully, quick plug, and I seen you post it on your thing as well. Girls, if you need decent if you need the edge control, gummy edge control is the best edge control out there. Like,
you can use it on your hair as well.
Yeah, it's so good.
I used to love making wigs, but I never used to wear them. Crochet wigs, weave wigs, whatever, closures, whatever, so on. But it wasn't until January this year that I started wearing it, because I just thought, you know what? I know a bit more about wigs now, more than I did, you know, a couple of years back. So let me just wear it. And I do like wearing them, but I can't keep them in for so long because it's just annoying, and I can't. I'm just not used to it. And
I'm a wig wearer.
See, I love seeing them, but it's just that, like, I feel like it's so long. And people,
it's not.
That's the thing. People may say, "Oh, natural hair is long," but I'm there like, "Nah, wigs is long."
So, say if I was getting ready today and I have my natural hair out, and my natural hair is literally in a bun, edges done, that takes me longer than throwing on a wig. Like, a wig, I can mess it up, I can burn it with straighteners, I can do whatever I want, but my natural hair, I don't want to ruin the little piece of hair I've got on my head. I can like manipulate wigs to, however, that's like why I would never dye my own hair, because why? You can wear a wig, like, I can be a whole new different person. That's why I'm all for wigs. Also, ever since I started to wear wigs in 2017. My hair's never grown as much as it has. My hair literally is lit now. Like, my hair grows so much when it's under wigs. But every time, I probably do like a month with wigs, month without, month with, month without. And then on the months that I've got my natural hair out, because I've put so much gel in it and I'm literally putting so much tension on it with these tight buns, my hair's like ruining, like it's tinning out.
That's where you should learn more about hair and like protective styling and low manipulation styles as well. Yeah. And what products are good for your hair, like, and timing it as well, because what I realised, 2017 was when my hair grew a lot, but obviously I trimmed my hair back in 2018. Then I lost the length in flipping last year because I didn't trim it in like a year and a half. But that was when I had my hair out and I just left it. So I'll do twist outs or bantu knot outs, and I would wear my bantu knots. and then I've just left my hair in its natural state. Obviously, it's moisturized, and then I'll take it out, wear that style for the next week, and then it's already been 2 weeks. I wash my hair again, do the same thing again, because you're just leaving your hair. Do you know what I mean? And then when obviously when I'm going to bed at night, just put my bonnet on. You know,
that's another thing I wanted to quickly talk about. How do you keep bonnets on? I can't keep them on. Like, every time I have a bonnet,
sometimes they fall off.
If I tie it tight, I get a headache, and then if it's not tight enough, it will just come off. Like, I don't know how people actively wear them. I wear headscarves when, like, so say if I know I'm going out in the morning, I'll put a headscarf on. Yeah. But like, I see people wear bonnets every night, and it's just not me. Like, every night my hair's literally just in case.
I feel like the ones. Because you have different types of bonnets. You have the ones that are like tight around your around the circumference of your head, but then you have others that obviously have the strings where you can tie it. So I feel like the ones that have the strings where you can tie it and so on, like, they've stayed on my head. But the ones that are just you put on your bonnet, it's sometimes it falls off, sometimes it stays on. It just depends, honestly. So I can't really say anything about that.
Well, yeah, we'll leave it there then. You have to come back the time. But yeah, I'm going to go on to the message to segment. This is where you give a message to somebody, whether it's positive, negative. Do you have any messages to?
You know what? Yeah. You know, when it comes to local black businesses, support them.
Yeah. This
is to anyone. Because you know what, one thing that really annoys me, it's like, okay, which one? This one, okay. This is a message to black people that complain about new and upcoming black businesses and complain about prices, for example. You know, let's say there's a clothing line and they're like, why am I going to pay £30 for a top that says, you know, trap, which, you know, I can see where you're coming from, but, you know, you're paying for like £900 for a top that says Tommy Hilfiger. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, if you believe in your own source, why are you negotiating your price for someone else that's just going to go elsewhere to buy a flipping, you know, £100 top from elsewhere? So it's kind of like, support your own. Obviously, you don't have to do it all the time, but instead of complaining, try and help, uplift and support, because, you know, maybe they're doing something wrong. You know, maybe the quality of the clothing may not be great or the best, but that's where you can put your input in instead of just bashing them. Do you know what I mean? Because as a new and upcoming business, you're not going to have everything together. So I think, yeah, that's it really.
Oh, that was a good message too. My message too is to all the nursing students. This is like a positive one. Okay. Like, I was speaking about it the other day, and I realised that all of you like who are student nurses working like all those long nights, still having to do assignments and not getting paid anything, and like, do you know what I mean? Not like being overlooked constantly. Keep it up. We'll still clapping for the NHS and that. Yeah. Like, yeah, keep pushing. You're gonna get that degree. And yeah, that's all I've got to say on that message too. Cool. But yeah, do you have any social medias you have to plug or anything?
Yeah.
Well, you have a lot.
Yeah. So I have 3 Instagrams. I have my personal one, which is Shamchana, SHAMCHANNER.
Don't worry, I'll put the thing down.
Okay. And then I have my natural hair page, which I literally just made because I just wanted to separate my personal page and my natural hair page, just so I can post more on my natural hair page and just post loads of hair stuff. That's Natural Hair Maniac. So natural hair, and then Maniac is AAC at the end. And then I have The Hair Maniac, where I do people's hair, obviously, and get paid and so on. And that's The Hair Maniac with a AA and C.
Oh, and then, yeah, same thing. Everybody keep subscribing, please. Yeah, follow all my social medias at Denika Tamsin, and then make sure you keep up to date with my website, where I put everything produced by me at www.denikatamsin.com. And that is absolutely everything. Do you have anything else to say?
No, I think that's it, yeah.
And yeah, we're out. Bye.
Thank you, guys.